Hi, it's Leo. I'm back after a little bit of a break, and I've got a few things I want to show you, and I'd like to get right into it. But first, I'm going to start with the Grunt Press, and then I'm going to move on to the crossover cable and other souvenirs that I have. I've been dying to bring up the topic of the Grunt Press because it's a lot of interesting research for everybody who's interested in all things Nabu. Um, The Grunt Press originally started out as an engineering newsletter, and the editor was Trevor Pierce. And what we did was we'd put our submissions on a Winchester hard drive CPM machine. Some people did it anonymously, but I didn't. And there were articles, and there were things like sometimes there were little snippets of routines that did specific things that we talked about, different interesting quirks that we discovered about the Nabu itself, and the differences between, for instance, the NAB 1100 and the NPC that we were struggling with. Trevor didn't want to do it anymore, so he asked anybody if they wanted to do it, and I offered to do it. So for the longest time, I was editor of the Grunt Press. I didn't keep any of those. The original title was Grunt Press and Other Wrestling Holds. And as I said, the distribution was small. When we ended up moving to the Baxter Center, which had a huge amount of people and a few hundred, I started doing it again, but it became very tedious because I had to deliver a lot of those to everybody's desk and secretly at night kind of things because I was working at night. And not only that, I was very busy with the games that I was doing, so I was doing it less and less, and people weren't submitting and so on. When marketing took over the games department at some point, they all the content development was moved to from engineering, which we were originally in, to marketing. And they also restarted the Grunt Press, and they created this one, the all-new Grunt Press. Now, the so I have a total of 4 copies that I have in links that are listed here, but you can go through them yourself. I'm going to put the links in the description of this video as well, so you can just click on them. But as you page through, you'll see that like this is cut and pasted. This printed out on a daisy wheel printer, and a lot of the different diagrams and so on, they were just cut and pasted into the. But maybe issue 14. Let's just see. Oh, by the way, this one was done by edited by Edmund Hum, who was also the guy who talked about me using my Walkman at night. Um, and so like you'll see articles by me, and there's other people as well, and you'll get to know some of the people that were there and how they were thinking. Um, it's very, very interesting. There's 4 of them. Issue 19 and 20. By issue 19, we knew that Nabu was going to shut down Nabu Network as it was, and by issue 20 it was the last all new Grunt Press issue that was made, and you could almost see the anguish as we knew the end was coming and the axe was falling upon us very, very slowly. Um, it's worth reading, and I highly recommend it, and I hope you enjoy it. For me, it was a blast from the past and going through a ton of memories. So it's interesting to share it with all of you. Before I start talking about the RS422 crossover pinout, I just want to mention why it's actually important because I didn't put that in the video. Um, the RS422 crossover is designed to deal with the problem that both a Nabu is uh, data terminal equipment and the adapter is data communications equipment. But if we're going to use a Nabu PC in the way that we use as a developer to pretend it's an adapter to running CabServe, for instance, then we need to make the cable a crossover. And that's the main reason why we do it. So this is the diagram showing how all the different components of the developer setup, and in red, the crossover is shown where it's positioned. Okay, I've moved to a new table. This one is actually in my basement, and it's a stand-up cable. And this prevents me from turning into Quasimodo by the time we're done here, or the time I've done this particular project anyway. So there's an eclectic mix of stuff here. The first thing here is a crossover cable that is being held in this medieval torture device. Um, and the idea was to get the pinouts for Santo for this particular crossover cable And without embarrassing myself by trying to hit a pin on a pin here with this particular thing, which is what I had to do, um, it goes from 3 to 4 and 5 to 1. So 3 to 4, 5 to 1, and that's all I have to say about that, as Forscom says. Um, Above that, and this is for you, Sean, a Nabu pen. This has obviously seen better days. It's got a bit of rust on it, but there it is in all its glory. I don't remember exactly where I got it. I'm sure I got it from marketing and swag in one of the shows or something like that, but don't remember exactly. This I do remember though. This badge that says Nabu. Oops, I better keep it where I can keep it in focus. Nabu grows with people like you, and the they gave this to new employees, and I kept it, and that's kind of nice. So I'm told that Sean says he's going to make a bunch of, so they might be available again, but not as if we have new employees or anything. We also have a 5 1/4 inch drive that I've been using. This has all been cleaned up using the brake cleaner, alcohol, oil in various stages, and it's working nicely. The speeds are nominal, and that I have to clean. The only problem I had is I don't have a head cleaning diskette yet, so somebody's sending me one, and I'm looking for a source for them as well. Um, I also have here, and for that 5 1/4 inch drive, I have a Greaseweasel V4 that I have connected to my computer, and to that end, I have been going through all of my floppies. Now, my floppy collection is quite large. It's at for that I've collected for uh, uh, to archive for Nabu. I don't know what's on them until I archive them because I haven't specifically looked at them. Not only that, I want to do a shout out to Bob McNally because I just the collection. Some of the he gave me some of the stuff in like 2008. One of the cab serve units, the cab serve unit that's dead. But he also gave me a pile of floppies, and I also had a pile of floppies, so we ended up merging them. Now, the interesting thing about cycles was that they were living, breathing things. We changed them every day. So I have lots of 00001.pack files, which is the main menu in iOS, and they're different. They have at Christmas it looked different. The ads are different. The layouts were different as packages changed and got rejigged, and stuff disappeared. Some stuff disappeared for a while, then reappeared. I'm trying to think of a specific example, but well, Christmas carols. That was a specific example. That appeared only at Christmas time, and that was um, the application Music Maker. That all we did is we rejigged the title and we had to put it into jukebox mode, and we had to play a bunch of 8-bit Christmas carols, which was kind of cool. But there's a lot of floppies here, and just to show you how many, I'm just going to rotate this and fly by a bit. There's 192 floppies and other stuff that I have to look at. And this guy here is this is a Tandem TM100 TM104, sorry. And let's just make sure I'm not making this up. TM104. Oops, move it down into position where I can see it. The sticker. And it's got a belt drive. Cool, huh? But anyway, I couldn't get it to function, and it's too bad. I'm just not that good. So I'm not sure what to do with it yet. But I pulled it out, and as you can see, it's intact and clean. It's just that it doesn't work. This is my spare 5 1/4 inch drive. This is what happens. This is the unclean version of this one here. They're actually identical. This is a Panasonic JU475 too, and that one works perfectly. This one works less good, but it's also not clean. Well, that's it for now. Um, in the next video, I'm going to be showing you a little bit about the floppy extraction process and how you can help me in the analysis of the floppies that we're getting. So we'll see you then.